Hello and welcome to this episode of Between the Studs. I'm your host Mark. Today I'm joined by Joe.
Hey!
And we are talking about Rogue One, specifically Lego Rogue One, but also a little bit about the movie too.
No, for sure.
And I was very surprised, looking back on the channel, checking to make sure, we really haven't talked about this specific movie.
Did we maybe skip it?
Yeah, I think we might have accidentally skipped it.
Wow, we got to talk to whoever in charge of the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I might not know Star Wars as well as I think I do, so right. I think we got everything, but no, this is a direct prequel to the original Star Wars movie, which we have talked about in its, the sets and the movie itself.
Yes, the ending of this ties directly to the beginning of A New Hope, which is beautifully done.
Exactly. And this theme is, the way we're doing it, this video is going to be kind of similar to how we covered, like, Rebels, for example, which
Solo.
is also... Or Solo. So those are two things we have talked with you about.
Right. Because I have them all.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't say Star Wars is your main deal, Joe, but you have a lot of the Star Wars sets. So this is very impressive and very exciting that you have all of them here on the table, except maybe like a little poly bag or some buildable figures.
I'm missing a couple of the figures that I'll probably end up getting today since I've got them all here. But other than that, I have all the sets, that are normal sets, not poly bags.
Exactly. The vast majority of system elements, as per like brick set or things like that, you can see this is it.
Right.
So, very exciting to see these today. We'll go through all of them in detail, talk about some elements of the movie we liked or didn't like, and we'll break it down. So yeah, what do you want to start with? What was the first thing we saw in the movie?
Let's see. Oh, that is the first thing
there
we see.
There we go. Exactly.
The best one.
Yeah.
The first thing you see is Krennic shuttle. That's right, because coming down onto whatever the planet is that they lived on.
That kind of, it was actually Iceland, but it's that kind of black-looking soil with the grass.
Right.
Yes.
A very cool scene. You see the ship swooshing, and then it comes down, it lands. It's a beautiful set, too. The set's very well done. And then you see Krennic and his legion of Death Troopers. They sound way cooler. Yeah, you can't understand what they're saying, but they sound way cooler than a normal trooper.
They look cool, too.
And they're just...
They look really sleek and angular compared to...
And they nailed it with these helmet molds, too. Just throw those guys around. But they really did nail the way these look. Very accurate, new molds, all that. And somehow I have 4 of them. I really don't know how that happened. These are just the commanders specifically.
Yeah, you were explaining that before the video. Those are the commander, not the trooper.
Right. And 2 did come with Krennic shuttle, which I bought from a certified pre-owned. Because it was just too good to pass up. Because Krennic is also an amazing figure.
For sure.
I think they messed up either on him or... No. His is the right one. We might have talked about this in the Rebels video. But then they modeled... Thrawn's off of his, and Thrawn's was wrong.
Exactly, yeah. The Lego badges aren't quite what they should be.
They've messed it up a few times.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, though, because you'll go online and look it up, and there's different sources.
There it is, so it can be confusing.
Maybe they've changed it throughout the years.
Right.
I don't know. But a Star Wars expert can let us know exactly in the comments if you want to. So.
Yeah, so that's the first set that shows up. And this stand we actually had right before we started the video, so I'll be buying that. I didn't know we had that. It's literally a stand for this set. Because it just looks way cooler when you've got the wings folded down in the flight mode. It's a good ship no matter what, but it just looks way cooler like that.
Yeah, it actually looks like how it's presented in the movie, up high with the wings going down.
With the large wings going down, it's just...
It's a pretty sturdy vehicle, even for the weird shape, though, right?
No, it is. It's got a lot of Technic built in there, and you've got panels that lift up and stuff, so you can actually get to the interior, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The sides come off, too.
It basically opens up completely for everything.
Now, I don't have anything inside of it, because it's not really worth it. If you can't see inside of it for me, this is way cooler for the figures to be displayed that way. So. But a great set.
And when you got it certified?
I did.
How long ago was that?
So that one was probably like 2 months ago.
Okay,
that's
so recent.
Fairly recent.
Yeah.
I had a couple of these for longer than that, but I was like, well, if I'm getting Krennic shuttle, which is the most expensive one, and I've thought about for the last couple of years, I've thought about maybe getting all the Rogue One sets. They're good sets. I just was like, I just don't know. It's like, and then I was like, Krennic shuttle, certified pre-owned, might as well get that one, but I got to get them all. So I already had the TIE Striker and the Y-Wing, but then I was like, the U-Wing's really cool. I like that one. Battle and Scarif, I got this one as is, was only missing a few pieces, like, some of the fronds and stuff, but easy to fix, right? And plus I was like, well, if I get this, then I'll get the figures later. So I got the figs later.
Which we have pretty much all the figures.
Right, we had all of them. I need to get a couple more, like the ones that go with the Y-Wing. I'm missing, like, the Moroff guy.
Yeah.
I'll grab him probably after the video.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, like you said, these sets have gone up a little bit. They're easier to get as is or certified.
Right.
But, I think the Rogue One sets have a really good reputation. They've gotten more collectible.
Do, yeah.
People really appreciate them. I've seen a lot of mocks built from them. We could talk about that in a second. But what did Rogue One mean to you watching the movie? What was your, take yourself back to, what was it, 2016, 2017?
No, this was 2017.
Yeah. And what were your thoughts, going into the first, non-Skywalker Star Wars movie, right?
Right. It was very different. There's no Jedi, so you have no lightsabers.
There's references to Jedi,
right?
No
of course.
actual Force,
Star Wars, but there's no one who uses the Force, no one who has lightsabers. So it's
except for Darth Vader, but he's not a Jedi.
Right. Yet. That's fair. That's fair. I didn't think about that, but that's not till the end and then in the middle. Either way, that's cool.
That's fan service, and it's great.
Right. Watching it, you don't get the Jedi versus Sith. It's the rebels building a resistance against the large empire that's building a Death Star.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that coming together and just see the real nitty gritty of it. It's Cassian. And now we have the show for Andor, which is a great show, and I'm excited for more of it. But you kind of get wow, they did a lot that might have crossed some lines for them, but they and he even says it. He's like, if I didn't do it for the rebellion, then it's not worth anything.
Exactly.
I've done horrible things.
Yeah. So
it's cool to see that it's some people have a dark side that not necessarily the dark side. That's not what I mean.
they have to go down a dark journey in order to accomplish.
The first time you see Cassian, he has to kill another rebel because he's injured and would give away information.
They torture him. Yes.
Right. It's that he had to kill him, which yes, it was for the other guy's sake and his, but it's still that's brutal.
It's brutal. Yeah.
It's you just murdered somebody who was maybe his friend. It's hard
the
to
dark side of war on both sides.
It's nitty and gritty, but it's a great movie. It has a lot of cool ground battles, a lot of cool space battles, just a lot of very good. What's the word?
Spectacular visuals.
Right. The visual is it's amazing. Great and new ships like U-wing. We really haven't seen any U-wings.
I think TIE Striker was new.
That
too,
one I'm pretty sure is new to it.
I
mean, Krennic shuttle's new.
Yeah.
Obviously a new design.
But very in the Star Wars era design, though.
Because, we saw a couple of U-Wings in Rebels, but it's animated, so seeing it in live action, really cool. And, this is probably I like Krennic shuttle a lot, but this might be my favorite set.
Yeah.
I really like U-Wing. And, of course, it can go into its flight mode, where its wings go back.
Yeah, it's a little stiff, but that's good.
They're ball joints. And then it connects back here, too, so it can fly around.
Whee!
Right.
That's in the,
But I just like it cooler in the U, actually. It's actually named a U-Wing, and it looks like a U, so it's a good name, unlike the B-Wing.
Yeah, B-Wing. The whatever wing, yeah.
It also looks really cool, just a little bit off the ground, because this was one that flew around over the Battle of Scarif a lot, aiding ground support and stuff like that.
Dropping troops off, yeah. It was awesome.
But, yeah, the movie starts off with, a brutal seeing Urso's family fall apart. She goes into hiding. And then, that's going to be nice. I just thought of the Saw Gerrera figure.
Yes.
That'll be great to put with all of these.
Exactly.
When that comes later this year.
Now, we don't know what age Saw Gerrera is.
I hope it's the Rogue One, but I could see it being like the Rebels or Clone Wars version.
It wouldn't be quite the same then, but maybe the hairpiece would be similar enough. You could just put a slightly older expression.
Old face on it, yeah.
But let's talk about the figures a little bit here.
Right.
You've got groups of different figures from different sets. What are some of the standout characters for you from Rogue One? There was a lot of very unique things added to Star Wars.
Right. This is one of the better ones. I got this guy before I even wanted to collect Rogue One because he's a great looking guy in the movie. He has a killer mustache, and they nailed it in Lego too, giving him the dark tan mustache with the kind of flowing It looks like he didn't try with his hair, but it looks good.
Yeah, he styled hair.
I think his name's, it's like Antok or something like that.
We'll throw it up on the screen, yeah.
But he's a great character, great figure, fun to see. I think he ends up getting blown up.
Yeah, most of the X-Wing pilots don't make it in this movie.
But he was super cool, and I wanted that figure because he had a cool mustache.
He also has given me Top Gun vibes. I don't know
if
he is.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely a flyboy.
The pilot. The really cool vibe. So.
And this is another thing. the sets are good, but the figures are also outstanding. There's not like ones I'm like, well, they're kind of weak. You know, like they're all really good. Krennic, amazing figure. You know, he looks exactly like he does in the movie. You've got like those, the very defined cheek lines.
Exactly.
Because he always had like that kind of like
stern face.
Right. Yeah. So he, you know, the actor himself, this actually you could look at and go, I see it. You know.
Yeah.
A lot of minifigs, it's hard to do that way.
It's two dots and a smile.
It's like
make it look like that character. Yeah,
it can be difficult, but this I think they've captured pretty well. And then of course the Death Troopers, a new mold for this time, nailed it. You know, printing looks amazing. They're so cool. Yeah, they're one of the better characters to play Battlefront 2 with as well.
Ooh,
they're pretty cool.
I didn't know that. I haven't played that game. So
I've been playing it recently. I got back into it, but pretty cool. And then of course you've got the standout rebels here. These all come with the U-wing here, except K2SO. He comes in Krennic shuttle, but K2SO is an amazing character. Like he's so funny.
Yeah,
I love the character.
He is the comic relief.
Oh, that's the other thing about this movie that's brutal. Is like you get so attached to these characters and they literally all die. None of them make it.
The cold reality of war. Yeah.
Right, exactly. But he's a great character. Very, very good comedic relief. New mold for his torso. The legs are like the super battle ones, but in black, which is really cool to see. And one of the coolest things is the fact that they didn't cheap out on the Imperial logos that are on its shoulders. Yes. And they printed it actually on the connecting piece.
The bar, right? Yeah.
So like literally printed on that, which is incredible. Like they wouldn't do that now.
Such detail, yeah.
They wouldn't do something like that now. I almost guarantee it.
And that's why that figure can be kind of expensive, like Krennic. Right. He's like, what, 50, 60 more than that? Yeah.
He's up there, yeah.
Maybe even 100. So, yeah.
That's why I was like, if I get Krennic shuttle certified, I'll get, you know, 2 of these guys, him, and it's like almost the price of the set. So it's like, that was worth it to not have to buy those figs. But then the U-Wing comes with a Cassian. They made 2 Cassians and 2 Jins. The thing about this Jin, so she looks great. She has like that sergeant helmet that never showed up.
Yes.
That's one of the things that, of course, when LEGO gets the first art, they don't always get it right because the production changes a few things. So we never saw her actually wear this hat. You know, I do like...
K2SO.
No! I do like when they give characters, like, you know, they did it with a Qui-Gon, they give them like that overlying outfit. But the problem I have with those is sometimes they cover up really good torsos, and in this case, I'll pull this off for you to see. She actually has a very cool torso, and I think it kind of...
is hidden under all that fabric.
See? It's actually pretty...
Cool
it looks like she does in the show. She doesn't really wear much of a poncho, you know? But, of course, I keep it with the fig for accuracy to the set. But I sometimes I feel like they overdo it with figs, and this is one of those. I actually think it's a little too much. Yeah. She would look better if they just didn't have that.
Interesting. So their attention to detail to the pictures that they were probably sent means that the figure doesn't quite look quite as good as it would if they kept it a little simpler. Like Cassian, I think, is a good example of that. He looks great when you see his print, his legs. He looks good.
He looks fantastic.
But then Jin has a little bit too many accessories, maybe. It's cool because we got them, but then you could always remove them. But
yeah. Well, I mean, the thing with the Jin is, you know, they did make her when she's in the disguise outfit, and you could just take this hairpiece and put it on there and take the poncho off, and then she'd look very accurate. But I mean, still a good fig. And Cassian, both versions of him are great. That's kind of the one from earlier in the movie. Excuse me. Or this one is I don't remember.
Well, that's more like when he puts on a raincoat.
Right. This is towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And I like this one better. The brown outfit with his, you know, he's got his like jacket on. He also has a very unique face. You know, they made it new for him. You've got kind of just like that deadpan, and then he's got a little bit of a
maybe a little smile,
a little bit of a smirk, which he was a good character. I liked him, and I'm glad they're doing the show with him as well.
Yeah. It's interesting to note that when this movie came out, I think that we didn't get to see quite as much of the characters as we would like. It's one of the critiques that the movie does get. But in hindsight, we get a whole show about Cassian now. It's really fleshing out his character, and it might be interesting to watch the movie, having seen the show, and know like what he's gone through and why he's saying all this stuff. So
because you're like, ooh, that's the dark past.
It's kind of like how the prequels might have filled in some things for the actual movie. You know, so it's interesting. So it's the way they've weaved it together and made more storylines more relevant is interesting.
I remember that a lot of people used his face for The Mandalorian when we got a face reveal and saw that it was Pedro Pascal.
It does look like
this is and that was the best face out there. So a lot of people used that until obviously we got one finally. that's a little more accurate. The rest of the figs, a lot of them are Rebels, but instead of just giving us a bunch of standard Rebels, which we did get some of those, a lot of them are very unique, you know, so let me move this here. This is great, of course, you know, a pilot in there.
Yep, the blue outfit pilot.
Also, yeah, they're not orange. Yeah. All the guys that come in this, they all have the blue style, which
they're
is,
blue, I think, squadron.
Kind of the Y-Wing style. Admiral Radish. Mm-hmm. He's a great character, great figure. I'm glad we got him. It's not Akbar. I know it looks like him.
He looks very similar because he's the same alien
and
species.
then this is literally the same exact figure as Jen, but, you know, actually an Imperial.
Actually an Imperial, not in disguise. Yeah.
So this guy comes with the TIE Striker. I just have him on this little thingy. Mm-hmm. I don't really know what it's for.
It's probably for fixing parts of spaceships or something, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
But yeah, alien rebel figures
right,
looking
so,
pretty
you know,
cool.
we've got just a normal-looking sergeant, I think. I don't remember all their names, but he has a very unique hat, kind of a similar to the ones that the Tantive 4 guys wear, but very, you know, kind of different, more for the ground, and I don't know, it's just unique. It's got little printing. It's dual molded, so it's like, you know, it's a lot of effort for something. It's just kind of another Rebel figure.
Exactly.
Bodhi, you know, the pilot who went rogue. He comes in the Krennic shuttle as well.
He is the Rogue One.
You're right. He is literally the Rogue One. But he's a great fig. I don't like the goggle side of him. He looks like a bug, which it is accurate. He did wear big goggles like that, but he literally looks like a bug to me.
Yeah, I like him better with his smile on there too. So.
And, you know, here's the black-haired Kanan hairpiece.
Making a reappearance,
right. Yeah. The hairpiece is not what makes him expensive. It's his face. Anyway, this guy's cool. This is Biston, I think is his name. And he's great. He looks really cool. And you actually see him. Like, they based these off of characters you see.
Yeah.
Which is cool. They literally could have just done a bunch of basics, but we got more aliens, which is really cool to see. This guy, you could take this and go make a random alien, right? But he does have his cool outfit to go with it as well. This is Pow. He's a great one. He is really cool. And you see him, like, yelling a couple times in the movie, and the other side of his face is him yelling. And he's like, It's
he was the guy with the gun on the U-wing, right?
I think that was Biston.
Okay, that was Biston.
But it might have been him. I don't remember, but
what a great expression.
Way, right, he's yelling. It's quite good. We'll throw up that scream. But he's a great character, great fig. Again, they didn't have to go all in like this, but they did.
110% on each figure.
And then, dude, I love the shore troopers.
Yes.
That's the plain one, I think. Yeah, the plain one there. This is the, you know, not the squad leader. This is just the I don't know, captain or something.
Yeah, he's got that blue arm, which is a little signifier there.
The colors on these are great. You get the tan for sand, but you also have like that dark brown and then the sand blue mix in. I can never decide which one's my favorite because, like, the sand blue is so cool. But then it's like the plain tan one also just looks really cool, right?
Yeah.
So they're great figs. And then, of course, I haven't opened this because I probably won't. This is the squad leader.
Yeah, he has both dark blue,
sand blue, and then he's got the waist cape, and he looks great too. This also was one of the coolest box arts we've gotten. Is just the Death Trooper.
Yep,
looks amazing.
You can always tell a Rogue One set because of that cool box art.
Right. So these, I love the Sand Troopers. The Imperials are really cool because it's always nice to see different ones other than just Stormtroopers, which Rogue One did well with. Seeing, you know, we got like the Death Troopers, we got the Shore Troopers.
The ground crew were different too.
Right, and then we got the Hover Tank, which is the same mold, but different printing as the Sand Troopers. But these are really cool figs too. There's another one inside there as well. He's the same figure.
Yeah.
But this is a great figure too. Another different Imperial. So and Rogue One not Rogue One. Solo's the same way, which is also why I like that. You got the different, like the rangefinder troopers, stuff like that. I really like the more unique, not just a stormtrooper. You know?
Yeah. They've really diversified the amount of Imperial figures that we have access to. And even since Rogue One, Shore Troopers have shown up in The Mandalorian and other things
that was
too.
So cool.
It's so cool to see that they're continuing on and including these and weaving them into different stories. So it's great. So.
And then another one here, this guy, I think he's Lieutenant Salfa or something like that is his name. I can't remember them all. But
nice helmet.
He's in you, and you've got two guys here who they could have given the exact same like clothes, but they have the same torso, different arms. So that's cool, you know, makes it more unique, different pants, both with printing.
Yeah.
They could have just given them standard ones, and then different helmets.
Completely unique helmet molds, each one.
And then giving unique skin colors is always cool, you know? So it's like you got all the, you know, you've got different guys, you've got different aliens. It's like, it's such a, like, this is all the people from all over the galaxy coming together to fight the, you know, the
evil
stupid
empire.
Stormtroopers who can't aim. But these ones can aim.
Yeah, that was... important to note that the stormtroopers are still kind of like falling over themselves.
The Death Troopers did not miss.
When they show up, the Resistance starts to take some real damage.
They're gunning people down.
Yeah,
that was interesting. Of course, we've got two of the...
Speaking of gunning people down, we've got
two great characters. We've got the blind monk Chirrut Iwu or something like that.
Imwe?
That might be what it is.
Imwe? I'm not sure.
Right. Anyway, Chirrut is his first name.
Yes, we know how to pronounce
Great figure, and they also gave him his large bowcaster that was very aggressive and just destroyed people, and then his staff that he totally took people out with.
Both those accessories are a little big, but they are accurate.
He's so extra, but he's very accurate, and I think he's a great character as well. He was funny, another little bit of a comedic relief.
A fun character too. You get a real sense of reverence.
Always like annoyed Baze, which was always good. They had such a fun friendship that it's like he just would like say like trust the Force and stuff, and he'd be like, oh, I'm more practical, but then ended up being like, yeah, cheers, right? But Baze is a really cool fig, and of course you got the big gun with the the chain, which is supposed to be like the cord going to his gun from his big backpack. I don't really know why it has that. I think they just always like to signify when it's a big gun that it's
might
got
be an
like
ammo belt,
basically. And I don't know how laser ammo works, but it looks cool, right?
Exactly.
And he's a great character, a great fig. And then I think that's all for the figs. Another pilot in here, probably just the exact same as that guy. With maybe
another blue outfit pilot,
which are way cooler, so I like them.
And then you also have a battle pack here that's unopened. You want to talk about this?
Right, I forgot about that. This is the 2-in-1 pack, actually. So this is both. This is the last thing I've gotten. This is both the battle packs that came from Rogue One, which is just the normal troopers plus the Imperial troopers, and they're both great. And we had them both sealed, and I was like, well, it's one of those things that I'm going to end up getting them. And I was like, wait, we have this. And I was like, what's the price? I was like, oh, it's the same price as the two combined. And, they're both already in here. So I was like, well, this has a whole nother layer of a cool box. And it looks cool. You've got, like, them actually going against each other. So I was like, why not? So.
For the unique box and no additional charge, that's a no-brainer.
Right,
to me.
So I got that. It comes with the two standard Imperial Death Troopers. Comes with stormtroopers. Obviously, they're stormtroopers, but
they wanted to throw a few of those in there. Yeah,
stupid stud blasters as always. And then you get more of the rebels, which are all kind of unique in their own way. Like they reuse a couple helmets, a couple clothes, but they all kind of give them a unique twist. So they're really cool. And a couple guys have really cool beards.
Yeah, exactly. They look like they've been out on in battle for a while. So no chance to shave. So
oh yeah, you don't have to.
Exactly.
So this is the latest thing I got. And it's pretty fantastic. If you ask me.
And we didn't really talk too much about the Scarif set. How do you feel about the planet of Scarif?
Scarif is so cool. Yeah. It's just such a nice planet. You've got a lot of water, and then you've got a lot of beach, but also some greenery mixed in. It's a really cool looking planet. Again, it's a really fun map to play in Battlefront 2. It's in there. It's really cool to see, and you can see the tower in the distance. It's pretty dope.
They're sending signals up.
Right. It's really cool. And this is a great set. I think it captures it as well as you could with the, I've got the palm tree here. But you also get, like, the sand going on. You've got the base here.
And the hidden ammo caches and stuff.
Right, so they're breaking in. There's the lever that they're like, we've got to get to the lever and hit it. And then different stuff like this. This will fall over so that the doors can open.
Yeah, once there's some damage done.
Right, but when it's closed and you go like this, it's locked in there.
Interesting.
So you can't open
locking
the
mechanism to the door. Yeah.
So it's cool. You got to bust that. You got to blow the doors basically. So cool features, and I mean the back looks pretty standard. You've got some control panels and stuff.
And Death Star plans here too.
Oh yeah, I can't forget about that. The Death Star plans are in this set.
Is it a sticker or is that printed?
It is a print.
Oh, that's cool. So
it's pretty cool. I know. It's one of those things that I was like, it's probably not going to be in here because it's an as-is set. I was like, someone probably pulled it out. Whoever sold it to it was in there. I was like, yes. Great piece to have. And of course, the way I set it up, I just put them all on there. Blasting the
huge battle going on. Yeah. That's what this is perfect for.
Right, exactly. You can display all the figs and stuff, and it looks great.
Now, Scarif has a different context for someone in the convention or mock community.
Yeah.
It's because it's such a cool scene, it's such a cool environment, it's unique, and it's also very pleasing to look at. It's like a beach with cool Imperial bases. So cool. You see it made a little too much in the mock community, and just a little too much. Most of them are awesome. Some of them are a little less awesome.
And it can be overdone, but I mean, I always like seeing a big Scarif mock.
I always stop to look at it. So I know that it's kind of become like a joke for like Beyond the Brick and other people's like, oh, another Scarif mock, yay! But
it's so cool.
There's a reason everyone wants to build it because it's so awesome. So it's cool that it was introduced in this movie.
And we did also in the battle. We didn't get any sets of it. There was a different version of like an AT-AT that shows up
with the orange in the middle.
Because it's more of a transporter one, and that's why they're able to blow it up easier for those who were like
weaker.
It was weaker. That was fine. But it was cool because you just have like all this battle going on, and then smoke clears, and you see like Chirrut is the first one to go. Because he's blind, but his senses are in tune with the Force. He's not a Force user, but he like knows how to.
He can kind of
use
see
the Force to help him, and he senses it, and he's like, "Baze, run!"
Exactly.
And he starts running, and Baze is like, "What?" Looks up, and the smoke clears, and it's just
huge walker,
and he's like, "Oh no!" And then it just starts laying into all of them. It's brutal.
Crazy.
But then, of course, some of them make it through the shield. That's another thing. The planetary shield was really cool. And one of the coolest scenes is when the Hammerhead Corvette rams into the side of the damaged Star Destroyer and just plows it into the other one and just like chops the top off and goes into the shield, blows.
The space battles are some of the best ever seen in Star Wars.
And, as a Rebels fan, I will say, the Ghost is in it like 3 times. It's in when they first go to the base, when they first bring her to the Yavin 4 base. You can see it in a glimpse.
Parked
you can
in the
also
back.
hear someone calling for Captain Syndulla, which
wow,
is Hera.
That's cool.
And then you see it like 2 or 3 times in the space battle as well.
Yeah, so it was there, just flying around. That's so cool.
The Ghost crew was there, at least Hera. So that's really cool. And then seeing it in live action in Ahsoka, it's like,
it was a main character.
It's always been here, and it's nice to see that they integrated that in there.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's almost like seeing the Millennium Falcon, but not. It's like it's got that cooler vibe. Yeah, I think honestly, for what this kind of environment, it makes a lot more sense. So it's great. So. But yeah, we talked a little bit about the tank drivers, but can we talk about the AT-ST and the tank and how they were kind of seen on the ground during some of the Jedha battles?
Yeah, these are both from, not Scarif, they're both from, like you said, Jedha, which is another very cool planet we go to. Kind of deserty, but not more like a rugged, kind of like Geonosis was.
Mountainy.
But not quite. It's very rocky, not a lot of plant growth. But Scarif, or Jedha is this really cool city built on top of a large mountain. Like they basically shave the top off, but
plateau.
That's it. Plateau. That's what it is. I know there's a word.
That's
for
the
it.
Geography term. Yeah. So.
Right there you go, Geo Joe.
Yeah.
But it's a really cool city, and you can see you've got a Star Destroyer hovering above it. I've seen some cool mocks of that. Yeah. People have done great mocks of that. And then they're looking for their information going through the city. And then a fight breaks out, and you see, of course, AT-ST is a standard Imperial vehicle. You see those around. But the hover tank was one that was new. Pretty cool. It rolls up, starts just laying into people. You've got rotating guns on the side. It's an armored tank, basically.
It's a good, I almost said mock. It's a good set, too.
It's a good set.
Great
it's very accurate. And it was fun to build. And I mean, it's a good one. It's the one that came with Chirrut. And I think one other of these rubber guys.
Baze would have come with the AT-ST.
Yes, so they both came with that, because that's where they were. They first met them in Jedha.
Yeah, when they were fighting.
Right, so that was cool to see. And then, of course, they find Saw Gerrera afterwards. That all goes down, and then they test the Death Star, and that's brutal. But it's cool, because it looks so cool to see, and K2SO says it. He's like, there is no horizon.
Yeah.
It's just all just crumbling and just blowing up. And that was just a percentage of the power. I mean, because when they use it on Alderaan, it's just...
Yeah, the whole planet's gone in that
point. And I think it's way cooler. That's obviously, they did that in the 70s. It's like, that's how it was. It's way cooler to see it be actually how brutal it would be.
Yeah, all the detail of the whole surface just ripping up.
Destroying it and basically into the core until the core blows up.
Yeah.
Which is what happened with Alderaan. It just doesn't look as cool.
Yeah, it happened a lot quicker, a little bit simpler CGI.
Which is fine. That's how it is. But I liked that they kind of changed that and made it more brutal.
Yeah, it's also a test, so they're not going to do full power.
Right, and they said that too. They made that clear. And then they did it again on Scarif.
That was a little more severe.
That was pretty brutal, but it was cool because the way they launched it, it literally hits the top of the tower, which was cool. It knocks that, and then which is where Krennic was, so he definitely died.
He was vaporized.
And then you see them all die.
Amazing, but going back to the AT-ST, now they've made a couple before and since. And I think this is one of the better versions.
I think this is the best version they've made. And there's a pilot in here too, I think. Yeah, just a standard AT-ST driver. It's probably, we've gotten like the ATST Raider, which was fine.
Yeah,
it's
and the Hoth ATST.
A good design, right? But it's a different one because it's all not modernized.
A little bigger, maybe, a little colored.
Well, the ATST Raider was one that people modified. The Clantunian Raiders. Mm-hmm. But this is a standard Imperial one. The Hoth one is, a different design as well with the front. It's got that closed off instead of like the open windows here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is the best ATST we've gotten.
Yeah, good size. It was a good price initially. I think it's more collectible.
I mean, now I think $100 sealed, which is still not too bad.
Yeah.
And then this is like the coolest TIE vehicle, other than maybe the Interceptor. Mm-hmm. I do like Interceptors a lot, but this TIE Striker, it's quite striking.
Yeah, it was unique for this movie,
right?
And it has such a cool look with that kind of
and you've got wings. the down, and I don't know which one's supposed to be fight or flight.
I'm guessing the up wings are fighting, but I'm not sure.
I would assume that's like going into it, but
Star Wars experts in the comments let us know.
This also looks cool. It looks cool either way, but I keep them up because I assume that's the flight mode.
That's maneuvering, maybe. Yeah.
Right. Let's see. Do I have a pilot in here?
You might have.
Yeah, I do have a pilot.
Just a standard Imperial pilot.
Yep, just the pilot that comes on the set, and then you've got space for different equipment and stuff in there. Very cool. This is a great set to just again have on display, just like I do. Flying over the battle
of Scarif.
Same with the U-Wing, because they were flying all over the place in that. Mm-hmm. The ones that I realized I didn't bring that is technically a Rogue One set, but really isn't, is Darth Vader's castle.
Yes.
Forgot about that. It came out a few years later. On Bricklink, its designation is Rogue One, but it wasn't made for Rogue One. It comes with another character that's like
different box
video
art.
Game. It is different box art, so I don't really necessarily count it as Rogue One, but I do have it. If you're saying it, I don't have the full collection. I do have it.
You can watch Joe's full collection on their YouTube channel now, so there'll be a link in the description. Actually,
you'll see all these in on display already.
But the castle was heavily featured. I actually watched just a few segments of the movie before starting, and you see Darth Vader and Krennic talking in the castle with the view in the background.
What a cool scene!
Yeah. I think it was cool
Be careful not to choke on your aspirations, Krennic.
I think it was really great that we got to see some really fan servicey moments with Darth Vader, and I mean, it's
seeing brutal Darth Vader too.
Exactly, he's chopping people up. It's insane. So the hallway scene is now very iconic for Darth Vader's power level. So great to see him featured heavily in the movie. So and
absolutely.
Another thing about characters is, and I don't think either of these characters showed up in minifigure form in these sets, but you had some of the first really like face swapping deep fake technology happening with Grand Moff Tarkin and Princess Leia.
That's right. Neither one of them made figs for this.
Yeah, so they maybe they wanted to avoid that conversation with the minifigures.
I think that's more like we've already done them.
Yeah,
because in 2018 that Death Star came out, which is the
one
that
had all of them,
or 2017 maybe. No, it was 2018. Maybe it was 2016.
Might have been 16.
Might have been 16, actually. Yeah. But either way, that had a Grand Moff
They were still in production.
And they've made a bunch of Princess Leia's. But, that was cool to see. And then, of course, in The Mandalorian, they used it again for Luke.
Yeah. Getting slightly better each time, I think. So.
It could use some improvements, but overall, it's not bad. And, they didn't overuse it. Princess Leia just had one scene. Grand Moff Tarkin was pretty good. It
was always low lighting. Couldn't quite see him, so it's
perfect, right?
It worked out.
But he was a cool character. It was good to see him again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think that covers most of the sets we talked about. The Rebellion ships. Talked about
the Y-Wing's really good. I mean, I'm missing a couple parts that I'll probably end up getting today, just because I got this one in a bulk a lot. Mm-hmm. This one's still the coolest one. You can even open it up like it does in the movie and have them start gunning.
Yep, you got the gun that pokes out there.
Just a stupid stud shooter, but still cool.
That's worth mentioning is they do have a lot of normal blasters, but
this was the time of stud shooters.
Introduce those,
way too many sud shooters.
It's not too hard to swap those out. The modern blaster piece is still pretty cheap.
All right, now we can talk about what you want to talk about, Mark.
Okay. Now that we've talked about the Imperial ships, we're down to the wire here. However, there were some sets with the Rogue One box art and everything.
These don't count for me. I'll just put that out there.
These don't count for you?
I'm not collecting any. Get one more, I'm not collecting these.
Yeah. And so you got Chirrut, you got Baze, and you got Jin, and you even got...
So here's the thing. Before we pull those out... Yeah. Or I guess we'll go ahead and pull these out.
We'll just talk about what you want.
Right. Anytime they did these buildable figures with human faces.
Yes. All three of these, yeah.
they don't look good. They look so strange. And, like, you know, Cheer, it's kind of accurate. Baze, kind of accurate. Jin, I mean...
Technically kind of accurate.
It's just that we never saw her with the helmet like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they just don't look good. And, like, dude, I mean, I know you guys know about her. She's on sale everywhere. You can still find her on shelves randomly. And it's just not great.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't like them. But when it comes to the ones that are not human, such as... the Death Trooper.
There's also a Shore Trooper. We didn't have that.
Yeah, I wish we did. I saw him on the back here. Not that. Yeah, I mean, that one's cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime you have stuff that's a robot, like this one, honestly, it's a good fig. I do own one buildable figure, and it's the General Grievous.
Also great.
He looks great. Also, there's a weird feature where he can just...
He's got a punching feature, kind of like a Rock'em Sock'em.
Yeah, anyway, you got the long skinny legs, you got the long skinny arms, kind of the
great head mold.
Yeah, the head mold's very good, sticking out like that. It's a good one. The Death Trooper looks really cool too. I think they did well. It's just I don't love this.
The body looks weird.
I just don't like them. Yeah, they're
Hero
not
Factory
great. Like that, the helmet, cool. Shoulder piece, I mean, it's accurate, but it's just when you get to like the legs, the arms aren't too bad. It's pretty standard, but it's just the legs are weird.
Yeah, it just looks like a bionicle body. It's just odd. So
I just don't love them. So they don't count for me. They are here though, and we do have them for sale.
Yeah.
And if you're into them, great, buy them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not going to be collecting these anytime soon.
No.
The one that I have the General Grievous as well because I think that's definitely the coolest buildable Star Wars figure. However, I think K2SO is kind of up there with him for me too, just because the droids look perfect with those robotic-looking bodies.
They're supposed to look like that.
Exactly.
It's when you get to more humanoid people and you're like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and circling back to the Jyn Erso really quick, for those who don't know, M&R Productions talks about that all the time. Whenever somebody finds one, they tag him in the photo on Instagram.
And I see so many of him.
It's so funny.
It's like, it's every week or two. I see him repost one. I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah, they're still finding those out in the wild. It's crazy. We have them too, and I think they're one of the cheapest buildable figures you can get.
She's let's see. Yeah, whopping $15, which is retail.
I think that's original retail,
from 2017.
Yeah, and I think the reason she didn't sell as well as some of the other characters is because the faces are weird, but also the helmet was inaccurate.
We never saw her like that. She was probably overproduced since she was the main character.
Yeah, they thought it'd be a little popular. Everyone went for the sets, not for the buildable figs.
Shocking. That's why they don't make buildable figs anymore.
They stopped them after a while. I think they were getting better as they ended them, but still it wasn't. Yeah, anyway.
Oh, well.
But that being said, all these sets are great, and we have a number of them available at atlbrick.com, so you can find those if you want to get some.
I saw this one up there sealed just like earlier today. I think we still have an AT-ST.
Probably have a couple of these now.
We have like the individual packs. Yeah, we do. So definitely, if you're interested, we have several of these. I'm not going to sell you mine. I'm sorry.
These are Joe's, but you can get ones exactly like these
at atlbrick.com.
Exactly. But thanks for your thoughts on Rogue One, Joe. I think this was a little quicker than I was expecting, but I mean it's still a good discussion. Good amount of sets.
I mean, there's not really a lot of sets because it's a one-off movie they didn't make anymore. But I mean, guys, if y'all want to see some more cool Lego stuff, go watch my collection video.
Yeah, exactly. You can see this and a lot more Star Wars and other themes.
Way more stuff.
That's worth watching for sure. I think that might even be longer than this video.
It's definitely longer than this video.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thanks, Joe. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We do cool videos like this every week.
Yeah.
We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Peace.